It's pretty funny. There's been a video circulating for a while of Steve Jobs in the original Apple Store. In fact, let me see if I can find it. Because when the Apple Store opened 10 years ago, Apple didn't have an iPod, an iPhone.
It was just Macs.
It was just Macs.
Right.
And it's interesting because they did feature other people's MP3 players.
There's a woman here in Houston who's writing a book about sex and the brain. I think it's called Dirty Minds, and she has a Facebook page called "This Is Your Brain on Love." But as part of her research, she basically gave herself an orgasm while in an MRI.
Well.
And the story is in New Scientist that she wrote. She wrote a story for it.
So
and
she was able to get
pictures of her orgasm
of a climax.
Yes, in her brain.
And does it look like an Apple Apple gadget lover?
Exactly like an Apple.
I suspect it's somewhat similar. Wow, these fMRIs are very fun. I mean, I don't know how big a story this is. It's certainly not news. Anybody would know this. Let me show a little bit of this video. This was at Macworld. Unfortunately, it's very low quality. But at Macworld Expo, Steve Jobs giving a tour of the first Apple Store. What is that? Tyson's Corner, Virginia. Is that where it was in?
That was the first one. Yeah.
2001. And we're waiting for the video to load. In 2001, it never loaded either. All right, this is, I guess, from an Apple keynote at Macworld Expo.
Hi, I'm Steve Jobs.
Hi, Steve.
And I'm here at Tyson's Corner Mall in Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C. And I'm standing in front of this wood barricade we built in front of our first retail store that's going to open in 6 days.
Did you think, Dwight or Peter, that Apple was crazy when they said we're going to go into retail? I know I did.
Yes, because of the Gateway.
Gateway was a fiasco.
I was just going to say, Gateway did a terrible job with their stores.
They were closing them at this time.
Yeah, I mean, when Gateway opened the stores, though, it seemed like a smart move, right? Because it kind of helped them cut out the middleman with a lot of electronic stores. It's one of those things where it comes down to execution, right? I mean, it's not necessarily just the idea or the concept. It's really about how you execute on that idea. So I think anyone who's visited a Gateway store and then visited an Apple store could see immediately the difference between the two experiences.
Yeah, no cow boxes. They had Lennon and now this is kind of funny. I mean, this is all they had to sell was iMacs.
And our Pro section with all our great Pro products.
Look at these whole
Every product we
Mac
make
Pros.
is in this first
Look at the size. You know what jumps out immediately is the size of the monitors. They're 17-inch displays of the big displays. Maybe 20 inches. They're so small.
Here's our newest iBook. We've got iBooks on display. Most of the products are running self-running demos, but you can just walk up to them and start using them for anything you like.
That was actually a good idea, and that's one of the things that stayed true. In fact, this whole iPad kiosk is more of the same, where you can go to an Apple store and really try that stuff. I think that's the secret of their success.
It's more like a high-end car dealership.
Yeah,
where you walk in
drive.
And it's kind of the product is art.
It's interesting to see this because the Apple stores did not change much, at least in look and feel. Obviously, the material. What they were selling changed a lot. Did you see that with somebody else's MP3 player there?
Which probably was an Arcos. I didn't catch it, but
I didn't. Yeah, it looked like a big clunky one.
Well, do you remember they used to before iTunes? They used I think they used Music Match.
That's right.
For the PC.
That's right. They did sell a version of Music Match for the Mac.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Then there was a.
So we're carrying 6 digital camcorders, 6 digital cameras,
The Coolpix 995. There it is, the Nomad.
players, and 6 handheld.
Oh, the Palm.
Wow, a Palm.
A Palm.
All products that they've basically put out of business.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Yeah, whatever happened to that creative Nomad? Whatever happened to Palm?
Buy a computer, or after you bought a computer, if you had any questions, you could ask a genius. Well, that's what we've got.
That's the
This
most
is
stupid
called
thing.
The Genius Bar.
That I'm not
I'm
crazy
not a genius,
about.
but I'll stand behind here.
But people
There'll be
love
somebody
it.
here
I mean, people do.
who can
There are
service
people who.
I guess
who
it
will
does
buy a
speak
Mac
to
without
normal people, doesn't it?
You've got
Right.
about
Yep.
Mac.
Normal people feel like if you understand this stuff, you must be a genius. So it makes sense to them.
That person doesn't know
Boy, it sure is white. It's supposed to look like, oh, look, a hotline with a dial, it looks like. It does look like he's in heaven, doesn't it?
THX 1138.
Yeah. Very sci-fi.
we've got an exceptional rear projection.
Not a lot
screen.
changed, and I think this is really what an Apple Store today would look like, except for the products.
Videos back here,
Right.
and of course,
And the TV
about
sets may be back
you know,
someday.
iTunes visualizations back
Do you
here.
believe that? Do you really
No.
think that they're going to do a TV set?
No, I think I think the experience that HP and Dell had, that's so low margin and so hard to do as at the kind of margins that Apple likes to do it. I just don't think they could do it, and it just makes no sense for them to do it. With the possible exception of the notion that it makes it easier if it's all in one unit. But other than that, I don't see any reason why Apple would want to do that.
Well, it was a big success. Apple Store 2.0 just got 20 minutes of coverage out of Twit. Damn them. All right, here's the seamy side. The other big Apple story this